Hello everyone, the Mummy Dust here. So I did do my Tempest League battle over the weekend. I'm just now getting a chance to talk over it. So in this first match, I did notice, and I will check the teams here, that there was no Skarmory and nothing really at all to counter Tropius. So I'm just going to go ahead and lead with Tropius and see what happens. Hopefully I catch one of the water types. And she sends out a Abomasnow, which is still good because head-to-head, Tropius is more bulky. It's also access to Aerial Ace flying move, which is going to be super effective against the Abomasnow. So I'm just going to go ahead and try and hit an Aerial Ace on it. I thought about baiting the shield, but probably should have, to be honest. Well, like I said, there wasn't anything else too afraid of with the Abomasnow, so I think here I'm going to go ahead and take this Outrage or Energy Ball. And it's Outrage, and it does do a decent amount of damage. I maybe should have shielded there. I was also afraid that he might get off another Outrage, so I did go ahead and use this Leaf Blade, which I shouldn't have done, but I did bait a shield and take care of the Abomasnow, and I'm going to get a few hits in on this next Pokemon with Tropius, which is a Wish Cash, which pretty much going to be able to take this out just on the fast moves. But here comes a charge move, which I'm completely okay with. Tropius is pretty much dead, so I'm going to let that die. And then I'm going to bring in Skarmory to finish it off. And you can see that the switch lag, or whatever you want to call it, the error popped up. And it did go away, which was fortunate. I think I would have won no matter what happened there, but it is kind of annoying to see that. And later in the video, you'll see that I had like kind of a worse type of error that pretty much cost me this whole tournament. I did end up getting the same amount of points as first place, so I'm not sure exactly how that works, but we're going to definitely try and do, hopefully, 2 Kingdom Cups next month. If possible. We'll see, because the one that I tried to go to earlier in the month, there was no interest in it. So it was really a wasted trip, and I was really sad that I went up there. I was able to grab the Discord of the guy who runs it, so this time we'll know for sure whether or not it's worth it to go ahead and run up there and try and do it. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and finish off this lantern here and take match 1 of round 1. I don't know why I used that Sky Attack. It wasn't really necessary, but I think I was just hitting over the button. And there we take round 1 of match 1. And then for round 2, I just, like I said, there's no Skarmory in there. So it's basically Tropius for days. Tropius is just going to be able to roam free and go ahead and take out, at least half of her, like more than half of the team was water type. So I just go ahead and use this same party. I think I throw Quagsire in there for some reason. Over the Lantern, because I don't need the Lantern to cover the Skarmory. So, because it's just not in there. So, here we go with match 2 of round 1. And all of these are best 2 out of 3. So, even if you lose one, normally you have a chance to come back. But it's definitely difficult, especially if you lead with a Pokemon that's not favorable. You can lose that matchup just based on the lead, especially if the other opponent is extremely talented. So here I do build up a bunch of energy, and I switch into Skarmory just because I know it'll go ahead and take out the Abomasnow. And here I'm going to take that Outrage, pretty much resisted by Skarmory, and I'm going to go ahead and charge up some energy, and down goes the Abomasnow. And out comes Magneton, which I am locked because I switched. Really, I shouldn't have switched. I could have kind of done the same thing as I did last time and take it out. But we're okay here because I do have the energy advantage, and I get off another Sky Attack before that Magneton does anything. And I did bring Quagsire, so I'm pretty happy with that because Quagsire is going to deal with this Magneton once it takes out the Skarmory. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and bring in my Quagsire and go ahead and finish off this Magneton. And then waiting to see what the final Pokemon comes in. We're still at 2 shields. It's Lantern, so once again, Quagsire was a really good choice because there was no Skarmory threat, so I didn't really need to bring in an Ice user. I didn't need to worry of bringing in Lantern, so I was able to bring in Quagsire for kind of the more random matchups, like the Magneton. Or you'll see later there are some Ice types that I definitely didn't see people running, and I didn't test against, so I just went ahead and used Quagsire because I knew that Quagsire would be able to handle them. So here I'm just going to use the shields because I have no reason not to. And I'll go ahead and finish off this Lantern here with an Earthquake. So that's the end of match 1. I was able to 2-0 my opponent. So we're going to go ahead and go into match 2 here. And this match is against Piscon. I don't know. P1 Scon. However you want to pronounce that. I'm not sure. But he did have a bunch of random Ice types. So I wasn't really sure what to use. I knew I needed to bring Quagsire. But I went ahead and led with Lantern. Just for, like, some of them were kind of water type. But he ran some traditional Ice types, no Ice waters, which is kind of weird, but it definitely threw me off, and I wasn't quite sure exactly what to do against it. So testing against, some of these random things might have been a better option. If you guys do these cups, go ahead and throw your friend code in the comment below. I do have room for about 20 people. I could make room for more because I really need people to practice doing these cups with. And I try to get this Hydro Pump off, thinking that he probably thought it would be a Thunderbolt, but he knew it was Hydro Pump, or he just shielded anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and switch here. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and throw your friend code in the comments below, I can add you. It's just, please only put your friend code down below if you're doing these tournaments. I would really like some people to practice against. We can throw them up on the channel, things like that. So here is an Alolan Ninetales, which I definitely did not expect to see at all. But Quagsire is going to go ahead and handle it. Stone Edge does a ton of damage, and he does get a charge move here, and I know it's probably Dazzling Gleam, and I have no idea how much that's going to do, so I just went ahead and blocked it just to save my Quagsire because I knew he still had that Glalie. So I know he's not going to switch into Glalie here, but he switches into Swellow, which absolutely gets one shot by this Stone Edge. I'm not sure why he's running Swellow over Skarmory. I'm not sure, and unfortunately that's kind of the bad point of Swiss is I don't know if he won. He must have won first round or something, but it definitely didn't help me out that he probably didn't do very well in the rest of the tournament because he threw his team together, right when we were getting there. He didn't have a team ready, and I think somebody else did that too. So it's kind of unfortunate. I really wanted to test my team and my abilities against people who were prepared for this. But that was the end of round 1. Like I said, he had some random Ice types, so I'm going to go ahead and use Quagsire again. I don't know. I think I threw him in first, maybe. I don't remember what I did, but I know that... Actually, I chose to go for Altaria for some reason, even though he had a majority of Ice types, and including a Jinx, where if Jinx would have been the lead, it probably would have taken out my Altaria in no time. Well, here's another Ice type, Cloyster, and it does know Ice moves, but Altaria is just tanky enough to go ahead and live, so I charge up a move, and then I go ahead and switch into Lantern. I was using Charge Beam Lantern for these water ice types as well as Skarmory. I just thought it was a better option overall because I brought Quagsire to kind of handle the random things if I was going to see a Steelix or like maybe a Charizard or some of those things. Even though Lantern would still be able to handle those, not as well with Charge Beam though. So in comes the Ninetales again, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with a Thunderbolt. Since I switched, I think I'm locked in, but as you can see, Lantern does a bunch of neutral damage with that Thunderbolt against the Ninetales. And I don't choose the block here, because I have the Quagsire that can take out the Ninetales. I could have shielded, but I felt like I'd rather save both my shields for my Quagsire. And here I wasn't sure whether or not I could kill it with fast moves or have to burn a shield, so I went ahead and just used the Stone Edge. And it did burn a shield, so fortunately now he's all out of shields. I'm going to go ahead and block this Dazzling Gleam, so I'm in a pretty good situation here. And now I'm going to be able to build up energy for that next Pokemon that comes in. And I figured it was either going to be a flying type or back to that Cloyster, so I'll go ahead and use Stone Edge right when it's coming in. And it is Cloyster, and it should be able to take it out. So there we go. And Glalie as well, also weak. I mean, all of those Pokemon were weak to Stone, which was kind of a weird choice. But sometimes you can throw people off. If I went in with a bunch of Flyers, he could have definitely mowed them down with his Ice team. But obviously, I felt like he was going to be using a lot of Ice types, so that's why I brought Quagsire in. And Quagsire takes out the Glalie, so we're able to win match 2. We 2-0'd him. And then we're going to go ahead and go into match 3 here, which is where I run into some difficulties, unfortunately. So as you'll see, I lead with Lapras. He had more of a traditional team. I thought Lapras would be a good lead to try and catch maybe a Skarmory lead or Altaria. And he leads with Lantern. It's not that bad because it has Water Gun, but I still wanted to switch to Tropius once I charged up a charge move, and it uses Surf instead. So now I'm trying to switch again. Still doesn't let me switch. At this point, I have to burn a shield because I'm going to be getting hit by this Thunderbolt. So I try and switch a third time, and it uses Surf again. At this point, I'm extremely frustrated. And just finally get the switch off. And Tropius is coming in to try and take out the Lantern. He switches to Altaria. And I am getting destroyed right now. I only have one shield left. I know this is a Sky Attack. I'm trying to burn his shields, and it's just not going to work. I used too much energy, and now Lapras doesn't have a charge move. He doesn't block that, so he's still got both his shields, and if he's able to take out my Lapras, then Altaria's free range. So here comes a Sky Attack. I'm out of shields now because I wasted one. So I'm going to go ahead and send in Lapras, and then I get this glitch again. And luckily I kill it, but at this point I'm at a huge disadvantage. Lantern comes back in, has a charge move ready to go. If I would have been able to switch to Tropius, there would have been no Lantern. And now I'm Skarmory, and he's got 2 shields and 1 Pokemon left. And I think he even gets a charge attack off here. No, he doesn't. And it's a Alolan Sandslash. So I go ahead and Sky Attack. I'm trying to burn these shields here. He blocked it. And I think he hits me with an Avalanche, and it's game over. So unfortunately, I did run into an issue trying to switch to Tropius, and it cost me this game. And then the next game I kind of messed up on as well, so you'll see here. And I think I was just trying to go for the Flash Cannon. I didn't realize he had a shield left. It wouldn't have mattered. So there's game 1. And we're going to go ahead and go into game 2. And this is the thing that I didn't like about Swiss is I ended up losing because of that. So I figured, and I didn't... I should have made sure that Lapras was still in here. I figured he was going to lead with Lantern again because it probably been working for him the entire tournament. So then I lead with Tropius so that I can take out this Lantern. But I did not bring Lapras for the Altaria, and I end up getting really hurt by it. So what I wanted to do is I should have been able to switch to Lapras here and save up a charge move, but I didn't have Lapras, so I'm trying to burn shield here or do something, and it didn't work. In the long run, I probably should have tried to switch to Skarmory here. It still would have been a bad matchup, but then I would have had probably been able to burn some shields before Quagsire came in and been able to do something differently. But if I would have brought Lapras in, I would have been okay. And here I'm in a bad situation. I have to shield the Sky Attack. I probably could have went without that. Just trying to get this Stone Edge off and take it out. He shields again, and I have no ice to take down Altaria, and Altaria is just going to destroy my team. So now I bring in Skarmory, and Skarmory is going to go ahead and lose to this Altaria. I think, yeah, it was just really bad. It's really bad on my part. Hopefully I'll learn from it moving forward, and maybe they'll change things in the future to where one loss doesn't cost you the whole thing. Well, we're just waiting to see what comes in. It's Lantern. I think I had 2 Sky Attacks charged up. Probably could have done Flash Cannon there, and I might have had a better chance at it. But his last Pokemon is an Ice type, I believe, and it just takes Tropius out. Especially since he got this Thunderbolt off. I've got nothing left. And no, his last Pokemon's Skarmory, so no chance. No chance at all there. So unfortunately I lose round 3, so I'm not able to take the tournament because I lost. And then we're going to go ahead and go into round 4 here, and this is against Thorin ZX. I apologize that I didn't show the team lineups or my thoughts on that as to why I led what I led with. But actually here you can kind of see that he goes to lead with Quagsire, and it errored. So I go ahead and reissue the challenge. And I figured that he might lead with Quagsire again. So I go ahead and change my lead. I had Altaria as kind of a safe lead based on his team. But I'm going to go ahead and lead with Tropius instead. And bring that Quagsire for some of the random stuff in there. So let's see what happens here. And he does lead with Quagsire again. So fortunately for me, I am able to take this thing out in a matter of seconds. You can see just how powerful Razor Leaf is, especially on Tropius. And down it goes. Then he's going to send in a Lapras, which is not very much better against Tropius. Even though he is weak to ice, Tropius is just bulky, and he's going to go ahead and get off plenty of Razor Leafs. So I'm just going to go ahead and load up on Razor Leafs here. And I'm just going to load up on Energy. I figured it might be an Ice Beam, so I'm going to go ahead and try and block it. It was a Surf, so I accidentally hit the Leaf Blade there. But normally you would like to just store energy up so that you have, an Aerial Ace or a Leaf Blade for this Skarmory. The Skarmory just walls Tropius off, and I should have tried to hit the Leaf Blade there instead, but he gets the Sky Attack, and he kills me. But I have Quagsire to go ahead and counter his Skarmory. I was going to go ahead and get a Stone Edge off, it's crazy how fast Mudshot charges up his moves, because Stone Edge requires much more energy than Sky Attack, but I'm able to get it off, at the same time or faster. He might have had a couple of extra shots built up there. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this thing off with a Stone Edge here. Actually, I think it takes 2 Stone Edges. And then we'll go into the final match of my Tempest Cup. I really enjoyed it. I wish that I would have practiced some more, so that I knew different situations, or I might have ran across that switch error a couple more times to know, maybe how to avoid it or what. But we run into a little lag there. It's okay. Doesn't affect the match at all. And then we're going to go ahead and go into the final match here. And I think he did have a decent amount of water type Pokemon in here. So I think I'd keep Tropius, or maybe I use Lantern. So I use Lantern. I knew he's probably going to use Skarmory for sure. And he leads with Marowak, which I didn't expect to see at all. But Altaria definitely handles this thing pretty easily. So I was thinking about just building up a bunch of energy. I probably should have used the Sky Attack sooner. But I thought that he would probably shield it, and he didn't. So I probably should have used that Sky Attack sooner, so that if I either burned a shield or that I had it, and he brings in Camper up, who doesn't really have a counter to anything on my team. He might have been good against Skarmory or something. I'm not sure exactly the point of bringing it in. But I go ahead and build up some energy and switch to Quagsire. And I know this is going to be like a fire or rock move or something, so I'm not going to block it. It is an Earthquake. So this does do a decent amount of damage, but not enough to, use a shield on. And he's going to bring in his final Pokemon, which is Plusle. I think I hit the Stone Edge before I saw what it was. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to be able to get off an Earthquake, I think, before this does anything. I do still have 2 shields left, so it wouldn't have mattered. And Quagsire uses Earthquake to finish off that Plusle. So I did go 3 wins, 1 loss, 2-0'd everybody, and I got 2-0'd by my 1 loss. So hopefully next time in the Kingdom Cup, I do a little bit better. And if you guys want to see some of that content, please make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification so that you guys can know when I post some more content. I am currently working on my Kingdom Cup team. I will give you guys some thoughts and some practice matches coming up shortly. Until then, see you next time.